Hello, my name is Dummy24 and welcome to my series on strategy. This series is designed to teach you the basics about strategy so that strategy itself is a more concrete concept instead of an abstract something pie in the sky, you don't really know what it means. Basically, I'm trying to give you an understanding of what strategy is. I'm trying to give you some depth about strategy to help you understand what it is, why it's important, to learn the basics about it, to learn more information, or where to go for more information, and finally to learn how to apply it in your life. That's what this series is designed to do. This first video is going to answer the question, what is strategy? It's basics, it's about the basics of the basics. It's going to define what strategy is and basically tell you how it applies to your life. With that, let's get into the beginning of the basics, the definition of strategy. So what is the definition of strategy? Well, there basically is no common accepted definition. But, with that being said, strategy is commonly thought of applying to what they call military science or business management. Basically, if you think about a war, or if you think about war, you think about strategy. You think Napoleon or World War II or whatever. You think war, you think strategy. Or, on the other hand, if you think about business management, meaning operating a business, managing your employees, those kind of deals, those kind of things, you think about business there. But that's the problem, is you only commonly think about strategy in a military science or a business aspect, but it's actually applicable to nearly everything, every single aspect of human life. So let's go on to my definition of strategy. I define strategy as a set of principles used to guide your thought processes, your decision making, and your actions in order to accomplish a goal. Now, this is by no means the only definition of strategy. There's been a ton of strategic thinkers with their own books on the subject. I know a couple very famous ones come to mind with Sun Tzu's The Art of War, Miyamoto Musashi's The Book of Five Rings, or Niccolo Machiavelli's The Prince. Those are some of the three huge books on strategy in a military and a political context. But I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm defining strategy. It can be applied in a military political context, but strategy really is basically you start off with a goal, and then you take your goal and you decide how you're going to accomplish that goal. And what that means is, let's use since war is commonly used for the context, let's take a military context and place it in that context. So let's say you are a ruler of a kingdom, or you're Sparta in ancient Greece. Now, what is the goal? As for the Spartans, the goal would be to defeat the Athenians in the Peloponnesian War. Now, strategy is going to help the Spartans decide what options they have to accomplish their goal, and what options to choose, and what actions to take based on those options according to strategy. In other words, what they're going to do is they're going to look at, what are our strengths of the Spartan people, or what are our weaknesses, what are the Athenian strengths, what are the Athenian weaknesses, and we're going to want to play to our strengths and the Athenians' weaknesses. That's strategy in a nutshell. And again, this is by no means the only definition or the best definition. It's just something that we can start off with. So with that, how does strategy apply to you? Well, it applies to your business. As I said earlier, it's commonly known in business. And in that respect, it applies from entrepreneurs and their own self-employed, or even if you're a YouTube, you have your own YouTube videos, you have your own website, you have your own lemonade stand, whatever, all the way up to multinational companies that maybe have offices or sell products in Asia, Europe, and North America, South America, wherever. It applies to businesses in all of those respects. It applies to relationships, and not just with your significant other or your parents or your friends, but it applies to waitresses, waiters, waitresses, and just random, even up to just random strangers. It applies to in the school context, as in what career do you want to have? What major should you should you go for in college, all the way down to how to best study for a test, and how to excel in your classes. In a work context, not only is how to guide the business, but say you are an employee, how you can best put yourself up for promotions and get salary raises and so on and so forth. Personal improvement, learning skills such as maybe learning a second or third language, all the way to deciding you want to improve your communication skills, whether through writing or speaking or whatever. Basically, strategy applies to everything. It's all designed to maximize your strengths, minimize your weaknesses, and accomplish goals that you have, whatever the goal may be. So with that, that's the end of this first episode, or this first video. In the next one, I'm going to talk about what's the difference between strategy and tactics. A lot of times people confuse tactics and think of it as strategy and vice versa. For example, using the military again, if you place your you always want to place your troops on a hill because you have the hill advantage. It's easier to run downhill than it is to run uphill. That's a tactic. That's not a strategy. So I'm going to leave it off with that. Please like, comment, subscribe, and favorite this video. Subscribe for more information on strategy. I also have other content on this channel, and I try to teach strategy through a video gaming context, but this channel is designed all around history, strategy, warfare. I cover primarily video games at this point, but I'm also going to branch out into obviously this series and maybe some book reviews and then history and so on and so forth. So with that, please again like, comment, favorite, tell me what you think about strategy and everything, and I'll see you next time.